What's going on, people? Bud back with Dripping Pips. Still Dripping Pips. Anyway, straight to it. I'm about to be doing an account growth. It's not a challenge, but it's just an account growth. From $400 to $1K. I'm going to see how long it's going to take. Actually, I don't care how long it's going to take. I'm not doing signals. I'm not following anybody else's. It's all my own trade ideas. You're going to see how I analyze the charts, my entries, my stop loss, take profits. You're going to see it all pretty much. I'm not going to hide anything from you. If I lose, you will see it because no need to hide it. You know what I mean? It's all about transparency here, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, to be honest, I did take a trade already yesterday, and I'm going to post it on here. If I can figure out how to do it, I'm going to post it. You're going to see it's a win. I took a buy on UJ. If you didn't know, I'm swing trading, so I'm only pretty much be doing all swing trades, UJ primarily. And if I just so happen to have, no setup on UJ for some time, I may just go over to somewhere else. Usually maybe GJ, but yeah, I'm gonna be doing this account growth. I don't care how long it's gonna take. You're gonna see everything. You're gonna see it all. But it's not gonna be like this. I'm gonna be on, I'm gonna be on the OBS studio once I can figure out how to get it running properly, because the last time I did it, I was in a better Wi-Fi location. Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm gonna turn this into a series. We're gonna call this right here gonna be the first episode anyway, because since I'm gonna post the actual screenshot of the trade I took, so we might as well call that. And another confession, it wasn't at $400 exactly. It was like 430 or something like that. And as you see, the win was almost 200. It was like 195. So we're gonna say a smooth 200. So we just gonna say it was from 400 to 600 now. So we had like, what, 638? But we gonna take that to 1K, and we gonna still call it the 400 to the 1K challenge. You know what I'm talking about? All right, let's go on and look at my chart markings for UJ. So I'm on the weekly. As you can see, I have all my strong levels mapped out. And I mapped this one out because, as you can see, it's a strong impulse of sellers. So if market come back to this area, I will be expecting sales, not necessarily saying it's going to be like a full-on bearish trend, but it's definitely going to be some sort of reaction from this level as it was at this one. You can see it slightly came past. You notice it wicked above. It didn't close above. It might have on a lower time frame, but this is a weekly level, so I'm going to really act according to how the weekly candles act on the weekly level. You see, it was a wick, pretty strong wick, a long wick, and it came back and closed below. But however, if you look at this side right here, at this level, you can see that's where the strong buyers came in at. So since the buyers were strong in this area, I mean, they had a little push right here. I mean, and a push right here, but it didn't necessarily test that support yet, as it is kind of like right now. Not to mention this right here, this box, if I can get it to click. Not this one, it's another one. But then I'm gonna just draw it again since I can't see it right now. So it's pretty much this box, if you can see it. I drew out, I pulled out my fib and it lined up with the golden zone on the fib. So I pulled out the fib afterwards, and it just so happened to line up with this. So that's two confluences that I feel as if it's gonna push up. I forgot to mention that. Not to mention this trend line, but I don't really care too much about that. So I'm gonna go to the daily. Now the daily, I think, I don't know if I remember if I pulled the fib out on the daily or the weekly. Let's see. Maybe it was the daily. So I'm assuming I pulled it from one of these highs or lows. I believe it might have been this one. Yep, it was this one. But you can see the way it lined up with the golden zone, meaning the 50 and 61.8. It was this. So let me put it back to how I had it at first. Range. Boom. Now you can see that zone that I have lined up with this fib. So the Fibonacci, that strong weekly rejection level, which is this, bias was in his zone, in his area. So I'm expecting a bullish reaction. I'm not gonna say full-on reversal or trend continuation, just a reaction. That's a weekly zone that lines up with Fibonacci. But let me tell you about this trade I took. Yeah. So as you see, it was making bullish. It was making a bullish trend. It was making high highs and high lows. It finally broke through the trend line. Not like that necessarily matter, depending on what I feel like doing for the day. It made a strong drop, zero pullback. So I was like, okay, if price get back to this zone, I'm expecting it to create some sort of market structure or price action criteria that says it's okay to enter. And I was thinking about either taking it back to this level, but I'm re-guessing that I'm reconsidering that one. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I may not take it back to this level. I'm gonna follow the 1 hour. But the reason why I was gonna take it back to this level, because I said, like on the weekly, it shows a strong bearish momentum. So I'm expecting that it was gonna, pull back to somewhere within here, either here or to this area and drop. As you can see, I got the arrow here. I'm expecting price to make their retracement, which is why I took a counter trend. And as you can see, let me tell you why I took the trade. 15-minute, it was close to the golden zone. You probably can't see it. Let me change it again. This is the golden zone that I marked on a weekly or a daily. As you can see, it was making its ebbs and flows, highs and lows along the way. I was like, okay. And then I drew a trend line here, right? So when you draw a trend line, when the market is trending like that, and you waiting on a like a change of character or something like that, if you're not at the market to sit here and watch the computer like that, you more liable to miss it. So a trend line come in handy for this. It's not necessarily use it as your structure, but it's just letting you know when price, broke it, so you can look for their reaction and their reversal, which I did. I'm like, okay, even though price didn't tap into the golden zone at this point, it did now, obviously, but it didn't at this point. So it broke my trend line. And at the time, I had a market, but I took the markets away as price progressed. I had a market right here because it made, like a lower low. A double bottom. Some may look at it as a, making a lower low, depending on if you look at candlestick closure or the wick, but I seen this double bottom or lower low, as you will, pretty much liquidity sweep, made this lower low. So I was like, okay, this is the it was the most recent high. All right, I said, so if price can break this, I don't even really necessarily need it to break out and retrace. I said, if it break this high, I'm getting in, which I did. So it lasted probably like a day and some change. Right, I woke up, I was getting ready for work. Yeah, I still work. I was getting ready for work. So I was like, I'm gonna check the market again just to see where we at. I got 2 positions. That's what these, of course, that's why I have 2 of them. So I was up, I'm counting both of them, yeah. So I was up a total of 96 pips, going for a total of 134. So I got up, I seen price, right here, I was getting ready to bring my stops to even once it reached somewhere within this level, but price was like right here this morning when I woke up, and I seen it making this pullback. I'm like, okay, this is a $400 account. I don't necessarily have to hold it all the way up. I just want to secure something. Thank God I did. So once I seen it was on this black candle, on this bearish candle at the time, when I was getting ready for work, it was on this bearish candle. I'm like, okay, I had 2 positions. I was like, let me close one. I closed one. I went back and looked. I was like, okay, if I don't take this money right now and the market just so happened to come and take me out, I'm gonna be mad at myself. So I went back and closed the second position. So boom, close it. About 20 minutes later, or maybe longer, I got a notification. I thought it was for me to bring my stops to even, but it was, both of them were taken out. And I was like, thank God I closed these trades, because that was a good way to kick it off, is getting, boosting my little confidence. And I didn't even need that to tell me that it was, time to take it out. I could have just pulled my fill from this level, maybe down here. And why is it that it lined up with the 786 or close to it? Yeah, it was somewhere near the 786, but not necessarily to it. And the reason why that's significant to me because 5618 golden zone, 786, 886. Those are two levels I use on Fibonacci when I'm looking for execution and break even and stops to even. Yeah, that's why I took that trade. And yeah, 134.97. I was like, yeah, and everything I explained with it. In addition to this market gap here, that's another reason I felt confident in taking this trade. You know, as far as I did, I was gonna take it up to the gap, but I was like, yeah, that's doing too much. But the market gap, break of the trend line, the break of this most recent high, change of character since it created the liquidity sweep. Daily, weekly, daily and weekly, strong rejection level, buys from this level. I'm big on peaks. I'm very big on peaks, as you can see. See this, yeah. Not to mention the golden zone, kind of lining up with the trend line, not necessarily touching it, but that's why I took that trade. So we're gonna go ahead and call this episode 1. Episode 2 is gonna be on OBS Studio when I'm actually looking for an entry. Now, if I just so happen to be at work, I'm a truck driver. If I'm at work and I look at my phone and I have an alert, I will probably screen record the phone and do like a voiceover telling why I'm entering the trade if I do, you know, got all my levels marked up. Because I don't want to miss no trade. I'm not going to miss a trade just because I'm at work. But yeah, I'm going to call this, I'm going to call this one quits, man. This is episode 1. See you on episode 2.